Archangel Michael says, "You must understand with all your heart that if you walk away, if you close your ears to the quiet voice calling you right now, if you look away even for just a few seconds, something far more important than anything you've ever known may slip from your grasp." This is not a voice of fear. This is not a demand. This is the gentle and desperate plea of love that has waited patiently for you your whole life, standing at the edge of every tear, every sleepless night, every ache you couldn't explain. It is the hand of God Himself, stretched out not in anger but in grace, hoping you will reach back before the moment passes. Type 2121 if you trust God's plan for your life. There is something sacred happening in your soul right now, something that defies explanation yet feels deeper than words. Jesus is not far away. He is not hiding in a distant place beyond the stars. He is standing right next to you, closer than your breath, listening to the silent cries that you never dared to speak aloud. He knows the fears you carry, the pain you hide behind your smile, and the heaviness you tuck away when no one is looking. You may think no one sees it, but He does. He always has. God is calling you, not in a voice of thunder or a booming shout from the heavens, but in the gentlest whisper of mercy, in the warmth of the morning sun, and the quiet rhythm of your heartbeat. There's a reason you are here, right now, reading this. Nothing in God's world happens by accident. You are not a mistake, not a burden, not forgotten. You are chosen. You are seen. And you are deeply, relentlessly loved. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you love sharing God's Word. The world has told you to keep walking, to toughen up, to ignore the voice in your spirit that longs for more. But you have come to the end of all that noise. You are tired. And right now, Jesus isn't offering you rules or requirements. He is offering you rest. Real rest. Not just for your body, but for your soul, for that place in you that has longed to feel safe, to feel held, to feel whole. Archangel Michael watches over you with a heart full of fire and purpose, not as a figure from stories or paintings, but as a real protector who has fought for you in ways you may never know until you see heaven's gates open. There have been times when the darkness almost swallowed you, when despair wrapped its cold fingers around your chest, and you thought you wouldn't make it through the night. But you did. And not by chance. Not because you're just lucky. You are still here because God would not let go of you. Archangel Michael stood guard while Jesus held your broken heart in His hands, and now, they're asking you to listen, not later, not tomorrow, now. What if the fastest path to wealth was already inside your mind, waiting to be activated by a powerful sound wave? Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it begins drawing opportunities, success, and financial freedom like never before. Imagine the relief of no more bills and the joy of living your dreams. This is more than an offer, it is a divine turning point. Your destiny is waiting, but only if you choose to move now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on this ancient brain wave today. Your life has always mattered. Every breath, every tear, every moment when you thought you couldn't take another step, it all mattered. God has been keeping count, not in judgment, but in love. Every scar you carry, He carries too. Every wound, He has felt. You were never alone. Not even once. Jesus didn't come to shame you. He came to lift you up. He came to bring you back from the edge of hopelessness. He came to remind you that you are His, not because of what you've done or failed to do, but because He chose you before you ever took your first breath. He has called you by name in the silence of your soul, and even now, He is calling again. Not loudly, not with pressure, but with love so pure and true that it melts away the fear you've been holding on to. If you've made mistakes, He knows. If you've fallen, He saw it happen. And still, He stands with arms open wide, not asking you to clean yourself up, not asking you to be perfect, but asking you to come home. Just come home. Not to a place of punishment, but to the arms of a Father who never stopped waiting for His child to return. The door has never been closed. You only need to take the step. Just one. And heaven will meet you right there. Type 666 if you believe in God's grace. You have only a moment, just a breath of time, but in that breath, eternity is waiting. If your heart is aching now, if tears fill your eyes and you don't know why, that is the Spirit moving. That is the touch of heaven pressing gently on your soul. Don't run. Don't turn away. This is the moment you've been searching for, even if you didn't know it. The love of God is not a distant dream. It's not reserved for the holy or the perfect. It's for you, the one reading this, the one who almost gave up, the one who doesn't feel worthy. Jesus says you are worth everything. He would do it all again, just for you. And right now, all of heaven is holding its breath, waiting for you to say yes. Not with fancy words or some grand display, but with the quiet opening of your heart. Just whisper, even if only inside yourself, I'm here. That's all. He'll do the rest. Archangel Michael says, when you feel like the weight of the world is pressing against your chest and every step forward feels heavier than the last, remember that you were never meant to carry it all on your own. You were created to walk in the light of God's presence, not to be crushed by life's burdens, but to rise, again and again, by the strength that comes from His love alone. You may feel tired. You may feel like you're falling behind. But in the eyes of heaven, you are exactly where you need to be in this moment, because you are still holding on, even when it's hard, and that means everything. Jesus has never asked you to be strong by yourself. He has never expected you to pretend that you are okay when your heart is breaking quietly inside. He is the one who walks into your weakness without hesitation, not to fix you like a problem, but to stay with you, to weep with you, and to gently remind you that your wounds do not make you unworthy, they make you human, and He came for the broken. Not the flawless, not the perfect, not the proud, but the weary, the hurting, and the ones who don't know how to pray anymore. If that's you, even now, you are exactly the one He's reaching for. Stay with me until the end, because God has placed a hidden treasure for your heart in this message. Sometimes, when the world grows loud and cruel, the enemy whispers lies into your soul, telling you that God has forgotten you, that you're too far gone, that your mistakes are too great to forgive. But none of it is true. None of it has ever been true. Jesus didn't die for those who had it all together. He died for the ones who fell apart, who lost their way, who sat in the quiet of their room and begged for peace they didn't think they'd ever find. If that's where you've been, you need to know, he heard you. Every single word. Even the ones you couldn't say out loud. Archangel Michael has stood guard over you in moments when you didn't know you were in danger. Not just physical danger, but spiritual storms that tried to pull you away from the truth. His sword is not drawn to frighten you, but to defend you. He has battled through the darkness to make a way for light to reach you. There were moments when evil tried to steal your soul, but heaven said, "No, this one is mine." And that is why you're still here. You are not forgotten. You are fiercely loved and deeply protected. Type 1919 to embrace healing. God's love doesn't come in pieces. It doesn't depend on how well you perform or how holy you appear. It is whole, constant, and unchanging. You do not have to earn it. You only have to receive it. And even that, you don't have to do alone. Because Jesus will sit beside you in your doubt. He will kneel with you in your fear. He will walk into your darkest night, and bring with him the kind of peace that no human words can describe. It's the kind of peace that quiets the war inside your heart. It's the kind of peace that reminds you, I'm still here. I've never left. If you feel like the flame inside your soul has gone out, if you feel like hope has slipped through your fingers, know this: Jesus is not angry with you. He is not disappointed in you. He is sitting beside that smoldering wick, gently fanning it back to life. He doesn't give up on people. He doesn't walk away when things get hard. He stays. Even when you can't feel him. Especially then. There is nothing you've done that disqualifies you from his love. Not the broken relationships. Not the things you've said in anger. Not the decisions you wish you could undo. Not even the years you may have spent running in the opposite direction. None of it is greater than the grace that flows from the heart of God. When Jesus stretched his arms out on the cross, he saw your whole life. Every success, every failure, every moment of shame, and he still said, "You are worth it." And he would say it again. What if 7 minutes could rewrite your financial future forever? This hidden frequency, backed by neuroscience, flips the brain's natural wealth switch, unleashing unstoppable prosperity. People are calling it the money magnet sound, and it's already transforming lives. But hesitation means missing out while others move ahead. This is your moment to act. Click the link in the video description and comments below to awaken the wealth inside you today before the chance slips away. You may not understand it all. That's okay. You may not feel strong in your faith right now. That's okay too. Faith isn't about pretending. It's about holding on when everything inside you wants to let go. It's about whispering, "God, help me," when that's all you can say. It's about staying open to the idea that maybe, just maybe, you are more loved than you've ever dared to believe. There's a reason this moment has come to you now. There's a reason this message found its way into your heart when it did. Because heaven knows you. Heaven sees you. And heaven is calling. Not to scold you. Not to burden you. But to lift you. To carry you. To wrap you in a kind of love that heals everything it touches. You don't have to do anything to deserve this moment. You just have to let it in. Let the warmth of God's mercy reach into that part of you that's been cold for too long. Let the presence of Jesus wash over your soul like sunlight after the storm. Let Archangel Michael fight beside you as you take your next step forward. And know, with everything inside you, that you are not alone, not forsaken, and never forgotten. Archangel Michael says, when you feel like your heart has been wandering through a desert with no end in sight, when the silence inside feels heavier than any words you could say, it is not a sign that God has left you. It is a quiet place where He is waiting to speak to you in a way deeper than sound. Sometimes, the deepest work He does in your soul happens in those still, quiet moments where everything else has fallen away. And while you may not see it yet, something sacred is beginning to take root inside you, something that only grows in silence, in surrender, in the space where faith is born. Jesus has never needed you to be perfect, polished, or prepared. He doesn't wait for you to fix yourself before coming close. He draws near when you are at your weakest, because that is where His love can shine the brightest. If you've been carrying shame, if you've been weighed down by memories that still sting or regrets that echo when you try to sleep, know this: He is not afraid of your past. He is not intimidated by your wounds. He walks straight into that pain, not to remind you of what went wrong, but to show you what can still be made right. Type 222 if you know God is with you. There is nothing too broken for His hands. Not your story. Not your family. Not your spirit. What the world calls ruined, He calls redeemable. And even now, He is gathering every shattered piece of your life with the gentleness of someone who treasures what others have discarded. He is not finished with you. Not even close. Archangel Michael stands close when your soul feels exposed, when you are too weary to pray and too tired to cry. His presence is not loud, but it is powerful. He defends you against the unseen battles that rage in the silence. You may not know the number of times He has shielded your spirit from darkness that was never allowed to reach you. But heaven knows. And Jesus knows. And they have never once considered giving up on you. The world may not understand the weight you carry, the quiet storms that rise inside you, or the nights where your thoughts feel heavier than your body. But God does. He sees every layer of your heart. The part of you that still hopes, the part that's afraid to, and the part that just wants to feel whole again. He understands even the things you cannot put into words, and He loves you through every single one of them. This journey you're on is not about reaching a mountaintop in a single day. It's not about having every answer or never feeling weak again. It's about walking, even with trembling legs, toward the One who calls you by name. And with each step, even the smallest one, you are getting closer to the healing your soul has been aching for. You have not missed your chance. No matter how many wrong turns you've taken, how many days you felt distant or disconnected, God has not stopped pursuing you. His love is not tied to your performance. It's not a reward you earn. It's a promise that has been written across your life from the very beginning, one that says, I will never leave you. I will never let go. Jesus is not ashamed of you. He does not flinch at your struggles or recoil from your weakness. He kneels beside you in your mess, not with judgment, but with compassion that breaks through every wall. He touches the places that have been numb for too long, and slowly, gently, brings them back to life. The healing may not happen in an instant, but it will happen. Because love like his never fails. Archangel Michael's presence is not just a symbol of protection, it's a sign that heaven is fighting for you in ways you cannot yet see. The very fact that you are still here, still reading, still reaching, is proof that you have not been abandoned. You are being led. Even when you feel lost. Even when you feel like giving up. There is beauty still to come in your story. Beauty that will rise from ashes. Beauty that will carry the fragrance of grace so powerful it will silence every lie that ever tried to tell you that you weren't enough. You are more than enough in the eyes of the one who created you. You are cherished, chosen, and held in hands that will never let you slip through. Do not believe the voice that says you've gone too far. Do not believe the lie that says your heart can't be restored. Jesus is in the business of bringing dead things back to life. And that includes hope. That includes joy. That includes you. Let yourself be still, even if just for a moment. Let yourself breathe, not with fear, but with the quiet knowing that something holy is happening in you right now. You may not feel it fully yet, but your spirit knows it's real. You are being loved back to life, not by pressure, not by force, but by the kind of love that holds you through your healing. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul. Archangel Michael says, if only you could see what we see from where we are, you would never again believe that you are alone. You would never again think that your prayers go unheard or that your pain is unseen. In the quiet places where your heart aches the most, in the hidden corners of your life that feel forgotten and unloved, there is a light reaching for you, constant, steady, and filled with more love than you have ever known. That light is Jesus. And he has not let you slip from his hands, not for a single moment. You may not feel strong, and maybe some days you don't even want to keep going. But your presence in this world matters more than you realize. The way your heart still longs for peace, the way you keep trying even through the weariness, the way you continue to whisper your prayers when it feels like no one is listening, these things reach the heart of God. And not a single one is wasted. Jesus holds them all. What if 7 minutes of sound could end years of financial struggle and replace it with freedom, prosperity, and peace? This ancient frequency, once locked away in secret government research, is now changing lives everywhere. Imagine bills erased, doors opening, and sudden windfalls flowing into your hands. But every delay is wealth lost forever. Click the link in the video description and comments below to switch on your money wave, and claim abundance today. There are tears you've cried in secret, the kind no one else saw or even guessed were there, but heaven saw them. Heaven caught them. Heaven remembered every one. Your sorrow is not something to be ashamed of. It's not a sign that your faith is broken. It's a sign that you are human, and you feel deeply, and you care more than you show. God treasures a heart like that. Jesus doesn't look away when you're hurting. He comes closer. He sits beside you. He brings healing that doesn't always come in loud miracles but in quiet moments where you suddenly feel a little less alone, a little more held. Archangel Michael stands over your life, not just to protect your body, but to guard the calling that God has placed within you. There is something sacred in you that this world needs, even if you don't yet know what it is. even if it still feels far away. The enemy has tried to steal your joy, your voice, and your hope, not because you are weak, but because you are powerful in the eyes of God. And when you rise each day and choose to trust, even in small ways, all of heaven celebrates your courage. You may not see it yet, but the road you're walking now is leading somewhere holy. It is not wasted. It is not in vain. The pain you feel has been noticed by the one who created your heart, and he will turn it into something beautiful. Not by pretending it never hurt, but by making sure that not one part of it is left without purpose. God doesn't waste anything. Not your tears. Not your silence. Not even your doubt. Jesus has walked the road of sorrow. He knows what it means to be misunderstood, abandoned, and bruised by the very world he came to save. So when you feel like no one understands what you're going through, remember, he does. When you feel like no one could carry what you're carrying, remember, he already has. And he's carrying you too. This love, the kind God offers, is not the kind that fades when you fail. It is not the kind that changes based on how much you pray or how many right things you do. It is constant. It is patient. It is pure. And it keeps knocking on the door of your heart, not to force itself in, but to gently ask if you'll let it stay. Type 1616 if you surrender to God's will. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to say the right words. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to let yourself be loved. That is where healing begins. Not in striving, but in surrender. Not in pressure, but in peace. God is not trying to make you someone else. He is gently uncovering the beauty that has been in you all along. Archangel Michael fights for the parts of you that have been silenced. He stands between you and the lies that say you're too far gone. He stands guard over the promises God has made to you. Even if you don't see them yet, they are still coming. Even if you feel forgotten, you are still chosen. Type Amen if you believe God is your strength, and share this powerful video with 9 faithful souls to receive blessings and miracles. You were made for more than just survival. You were made to know the deep joy of being loved without condition. You were made to walk in peace that doesn't rely on circumstances. You were made to shine light in dark places, even if your own light feels dim right now. It will grow again. It will burn brighter. Jesus has not let you go. And he never will. If you are holding on to just a thread of faith, it is enough. If all you can say today is, "Help me," it is enough. If all you can do is breathe through the tears and hope that God is still near, that is enough. Because his love does not need you to have it all figured out. It only asks that you stay open. Open to the possibility that you are deeply loved. Open to the truth that you are not too far gone. Open to the light that is still shining for you, even now. Archangel Michael says, when the nights stretch long and you lie awake wondering if anything will ever change, if the ache in your chest will ever ease, if the silence you feel from heaven means you've been left behind, please listen gently. You have not been forgotten, not for even a heartbeat. You are not overlooked, abandoned, or drifting without purpose. What you are, is held. Even when you don't feel it, even when the darkness seems louder than the light, you are being carried through every unseen moment by a love that will never let you go. There is a part of your soul that has always known him. Even before you had the words, even before you understood faith, something in you leaned toward the light, like flowers turning toward the sun. That part of you, that sacred longing for love, for peace, for truth, it is not weakness. It is the spark of heaven within you. It is the gentle reminder that you were created for something far greater than pain. That you were made by God, not just to exist, but to live, fully and deeply, in His presence. Jesus is not far away, watching from a distance. He is near. He has always been near. He walks beside you in silence, when your thoughts are too heavy to speak. He kneels at your side when you collapse from exhaustion, not just of the body, but of the soul. He knows what it's like to feel tired, to be misunderstood, to carry the weight of love in a world that sometimes forgets what love really is. If your heart has grown tired from waiting, from hoping, from holding on while it seems like nothing is changing, please understand, delay is not denial. Silence is not absence. And pain is not punishment. Some of the most important parts of your story are being written right now, in the chapters you can't yet see. And every moment you keep walking, every time you choose not to give up, you are moving closer to the healing God has already begun in you. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. Archangel Michael has not left your side. There have been moments, more than you know, when darkness tried to come in too close, when the weight of your sorrow opened doors to hopelessness, and He stood between you and the harm that never reached you. You didn't see it, but heaven saw it all. And every time you kept going when you didn't think you could, the angels rejoiced. Because to keep moving, even in pain, is an act of faith more powerful than the world will ever understand. There is something holy about your struggle. Not because suffering is good in itself, but because God never wastes it. Every wound, every scar, every silent prayer, it's all being woven into something far more beautiful than you can imagine right now. What feels like falling apart is often the beginning of being remade. And Jesus isn't just watching. He's helping rebuild what life tried to break. You don't have to force yourself to feel strong today. Strength doesn't always look like smiling. Sometimes it looks like simply getting out of bed. Sometimes it's choosing to breathe when everything hurts. Sometimes it's reading one more word, holding on to one more thread of hope, choosing not to walk away. And even when you feel like you're barely hanging on, know this: Jesus is holding on to you with both hands. The truth is simple: you were created for abundance, yet a dormant brain signal has been holding you back. Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it pulls wealth into your life like never before. Others who pressed play once are already transformed, living the life they dreamed of. Do not hesitate or let regret steal this chance. Click the link in the video description and comments below to unlock your prosperity now. He knows the hidden places where your heart has been bruised, where your trust has been worn thin, where your dreams have faded in the shadows. And He speaks into those very places, not with noise or pressure, but with peace. With a whisper that says, "You're still mine. You're still chosen. I'm not finished with you." God is not disappointed in you. He does not measure your worth by your progress or your performance. His love was complete before you took your first breath. Nothing you have done or failed to do can reduce the value of who you are to him. You are his beloved. Not someday. Not once you're better. But right now, exactly as you are. Archangel Michael guards more than your path, he guards your purpose. There are things inside you, gifts and grace and wisdom, that the world needs. Even if you don't see it. Even if you've forgotten what it feels like to believe in yourself. That calling is still alive. It hasn't faded. It hasn't died. And it will rise again in time. Let yourself rest in that truth today. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to pretend you're okay. You only need to keep breathing, keep listening, and keep letting love find its way to the places in you that feel most lost. Because love always finds a way. This isn't the end. This is just another step in a long, beautiful journey that God is walking with you. You don't have to rush. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to stay open. Let the light in. Let Jesus speak into your quiet. Let Michael fight for your peace. And let yourself be loved, even when it feels undeserved. Archangel Michael says, in the stillness of your soul, where words fall short and only tears seem to speak, God is present. Not watching from a distance, not waiting for you to get everything right, but right there beside you, in the loneliness, in the longing, in the moments that feel too heavy to carry. His hands are not folded in disapproval, they are open, reaching, and ready to hold the parts of you that you've hidden away, even from yourself. Type 111 if you believe miracles are near. There are moments when it feels like the world has gone quiet, when prayers feel unanswered and days blur into nights without change. But you must understand, just because you don't see the work being done, doesn't mean it isn't happening. Jesus is always working in the silence. In the background. In the places you don't even know need healing. He is writing a story for you that is filled with grace, and every chapter, even the painful ones, has purpose. It's okay if you feel tired. It's okay if you feel like your faith is trembling, stretched thin across the weight of all you've been through. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you less. That makes you real. And Jesus has always loved real people, wounded people, weary people, broken and beautiful hearts that don't know how to pretend. You don't need to hide how hard it's been. He already knows, and he loves you in the middle of it all. Archangel Michael stands guard, not because you're failing, but because your life is precious beyond words. The battles you've faced haven't been for nothing. Some of the deepest wounds have come not from your enemies, but from moments when you felt forgotten, abandoned, or misunderstood by the very people you trusted. But even in those moments, the ones you never told anyone about, heaven saw. And heaven responded with protection, even if it didn't always look the way you expected. Sometimes, protection looks like strength you didn't know you had. Sometimes it looks like getting through another day, even when you wanted to quit. Sometimes it looks like unexpected comfort, a song, a word, a message, a stranger's kindness that seemed to come from nowhere. But it wasn't nowhere. It was God, gently reminding you, I'm still here. I still see you. I'm not leaving. The pain you carry is not a sign that you've been forgotten. It's a sign that you feel deeply, that you've dared to love, to hope, to believe. And while that pain may feel like it's consuming you at times, it is not stronger than the love that surrounds you. Jesus has wept with you. He has stood in the middle of your sorrow, and he has never once walked away. Your healing may be slow, and that's okay. Healing is not a race. It's a holy unfolding, one layer at a time. Some days will feel like light is breaking through. Other days may feel like you're standing in shadows. But even in the shadow, the light is still there. Even when you feel lost, Jesus has not lost you. You are still on his path. You are still in his arms. There is nothing you need to prove to earn his love. Not one thing. You don't have to strive for perfection. You don't have to carry shame. You only have to allow yourself to be held. Let him into the places you thought were too messy, too damaged, too far gone. He sees beauty there. He sees life waiting to bloom again. And he's not in a hurry. He will sit with you as long as it takes. Archangel Michael doesn't grow tired of protecting you. Jesus doesn't grow weary of loving you. God doesn't lose patience with your questions, your fears, or your need to cry. There is enough grace for every single part of you, and nothing about you is too much for heaven to handle. Type Amen to trust God's plan for your life. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. If you've been holding on by a thread, let this be the hand that helps you hold tighter. You are not too late. You are not beyond repair. You are not disqualified. You are loved, right here, right now, exactly as you are. Let the tears fall if they need to. Let your heart breathe. Let yourself be comforted. You don't have to carry the weight of the world anymore. You don't have to figure it all out today. You just have to remember that you're not alone, not for a second. God is with you. Jesus is near. And Archangel Michael is standing watch. Archangel Michael says, when your heart is tired and your spirit feels fragile, when the days feel like a blur and your hope seems distant and quiet, please remember, God is not waiting for a better version of you to love. He is not asking you to become someone else before he wraps you in his arms. Right now, just as you are, with all your questions and confusion, with all your doubt and fear, you are worthy of love, mercy, and grace beyond what you can imagine. It's easy to think that maybe you've messed up too many times, that maybe the silence from heaven means something's wrong, but the truth is, Jesus hasn't left you for a second. His silence is not rejection. His quiet is not distance. Sometimes he speaks not with thunder, but with the weight of peace that settles over you when everything else is loud. And even when you can't feel it, even when you doubt he's listening, he is. Every word, every whisper, every sigh. There are days when you feel like you're just going through the motions, when the joy feels buried deep under responsibility, pain, or memories you wish you could erase. But even then, the Spirit of God is breathing within you. You are not disconnected. You are not invisible. You are deeply known. He sees the weight you carry, the pressure to hold it all together, the fear that one more disappointment might just break something inside you. And still, he stays. Every second you wait, wealth meant for you slips into someone else's hands. A hidden brain wave, once buried in CIA files, has been proven to awaken unstoppable prosperity. In just 7 minutes, you can unlock the switch inside your mind that draws abundance like a magnet. This is more than an opportunity, it is destiny knocking. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate your hidden wealth wave right now. Archangel Michael stands over your life like a watchman who never sleeps. Not out of obligation, but because your soul matters that much. Because the enemy has tried many times to discourage you, to shake you, to convince you that your prayers don't matter and your dreams will never happen. But here you are. Still breathing. Still standing. Still reading. That's not by chance. That is God keeping you when you didn't have the strength to keep yourself. You may not realize it now, but the days you felt the weakest were the days heaven was closest. When you cried in the quiet and said you couldn't take any more, God wasn't silent out of disinterest, He was holding you in the places words couldn't reach. Sometimes comfort doesn't come in explanations. It comes in presence. In a feeling deep in your spirit that somehow, without knowing how, you are being held together by something greater than yourself. Jesus never asks you to carry more than you can bear alone. He never gives you a reason to hide your tears or silence your emotions. He walks with you through every valley, not as a savior who points from a distance, but as the one who gets into the middle of the pain with you and holds you until it passes. There is no part of your story that He has turned away from. He stays for all of it. The broken, the beautiful, the unfinished. Sometimes healing doesn't look like loud joy or sudden transformation. Sometimes it looks like one deep breath, one quiet moment, one whispered prayer that says, "Help me hold on." And that is more than enough. Heaven does not measure your faith by your strength. It sees the courage it takes to keep going, even with trembling hands. Type 3030 if you believe Jesus lives in your heart. Archangel Michael has been sent more than once to shield your soul when it felt like the darkness would win. He has stood between you and the battles you never saw coming. He has fought for you in ways you'll never fully know on this side of eternity. Because you are chosen. You have always been chosen. Not by the world. Not by people. But by God Himself, who breathed life into you for a reason that still matters. Even if you felt lost, you are never beyond the reach of grace. Even if your faith feels thin, it's enough. Jesus doesn't require perfection. He only asks for your heart. Not because He needs it, but because He wants to give you back the pieces that life tried to take. He wants to give you back peace, hope, joy, and a future you thought was out of reach. So if today you feel empty, worn down, or distant from everything sacred, be still. Let these words remind you that God is not far. That Jesus is not frustrated with you. That Archangel Michael has not left your side. And that love, deep, fierce, unshakable love, is still chasing after your heart. You don't have to do anything more right now. Just be. Just breathe. Let yourself be comforted by the truth that even in your lowest moments, you are not forgotten. You are being watched over. You are being carried. You are being loved with a love that has no conditions, no limits, no ending. Archangel Michael says, even when the road feels endless and your steps slow with the weight of everything you've carried, there is something unseen beneath your feet, grace. Quiet, steady, unfailing grace, holding you up when your strength has faded, guiding you forward even when you feel lost. You may not feel it most days, but heaven has never stopped walking beside you. Not once. You have been surrounded, shielded, and sung over in ways your heart has only begun to understand. Jesus is not waiting for the perfect version of your life to show up. He is not standing at the finish line hoping you'll get there someday. He is with you here, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the ache, in the middle of the waiting. He sits with you on the hard days, when the world feels too loud and your soul grows quiet. He is not ashamed of your struggles. He does not flinch when you admit you're tired. His love does not waver when your faith feels small. This is what you must know deep within your heart: nothing, not your failures, not your silence, not your fears, has ever disqualified you from being loved by Him. You are still the one He died for. You are still the one He rose for. You are still the one He speaks over every single day with gentle mercy, saying, "You are mine. I'm not letting go." And He never has. Archangel Michael has been near in moments you would never guess were battles. Not just in crisis, but in the quiet, when your heart was drifting, when confusion tried to pull you away, when heaviness crept in like fog. He fights for you because the calling on your life is not ordinary. The love that God has for you is not temporary. It is eternal. And all of heaven stands behind you, even when your knees are weak. Sometimes you may wonder if you've missed your chance, if you've wandered too far, if the life you hoped for is now out of reach. But what if you haven't missed anything? What if everything you've walked through, every wrong turn, every delay, has still brought you to exactly where you need to be? Because God doesn't work in straight lines. He works in miracles. He works in redemption. And He knows how to take even the most broken path and turn it into something beautiful. Type "I believe" if you believe miracles are on the way. You don't need to have it all together to be worthy of a new beginning. You don't need to be healed before He holds you. You don't need to be fearless to be carried. The truth is, healing often begins in the most unassuming moments, the quiet surrender when you finally say, "God, I can't do this alone anymore." And you don't have to. You never did. Jesus walks into your pain, not to fix it like a problem, but to carry it with you. His comfort is not a quick solution. It's a steady presence that says, "I know it hurts, but I'm not going anywhere." His love wraps around your soul like a blanket on a cold night, and slowly, gently, the warmth begins to return to places that once felt frozen. You may not feel strong, but that doesn't mean you aren't. Strength is not measured by how loud your faith is, but by how willing you are to keep going when everything inside you wants to quit. And every time you do that, even quietly, heaven notices. Every time you whisper, "Help me," even if it's the only prayer you can find, heaven moves. Archangel Michael remains close, because you are worth guarding. Your heart is precious. Your life holds purpose beyond what your eyes can see. The darkness may have tried to tell you otherwise, but truth speaks louder. And the truth is this: God is not done with you. Not now. Not ever. The presence of Jesus is still pursuing you. Not because he needs anything from you, but because he wants to walk with you in a way you've never fully allowed before. Not to push or pressure, but to heal. To rebuild. To breathe life into the parts of you that have gone quiet with sorrow. So let yourself believe again. Just a little. Let your heart crack open, even if just enough for light to slip through. Let go of the shame that says you should have been stronger by now. Let go of the lie that you're behind. You are exactly where God can reach you. And he is reaching now. If you feel like all you have is a tiny spark of hope, protect it. Because that spark is holy. That small light is enough for Jesus to build a fire again. Not a fire of striving or pressure, but of peace. Of purpose. Of quiet joy that doesn't depend on what the world gives or takes away. You are loved, not when you get it right, not when you figure it all out, but now. As you are. Completely. You don't have to earn what's already yours. You don't have to chase what's already been promised. Just rest. Just let yourself be held by the God who never left you. Archangel Michael says, there are parts of you that have been silent for so long, parts that used to dream, that used to believe, that used to feel wonder and peace in the small moments. You've been through so much. Life has placed heavy things in your hands, and you've carried them with quiet strength even when no one noticed. But heaven noticed. And heaven has never once looked away from you. Jesus has walked every step beside you, not just in your triumphs, not only in your good days, but in your breaking points, when you couldn't speak, when your hope felt thin, when you had nothing left to give. In those places, he didn't stand apart. He moved closer. He placed his hand over your heart and whispered, I still see you. I still love you. I'm still here. There is no shame in feeling tired. There is no shame in needing rest. You are not failing when you cry, when you pause, when your prayers come out in sighs instead of words. The world has made it seem like you need to have it all together, but God never asked that of you. He asked only that you come, just as you are. Not dressed up in strength you don't feel, not pretending to have answers you don't have, but simply and honestly, as yourself. Type 222 if you trust that God is with you always. And if you feel like you don't even know who that is anymore, that's okay. Because Jesus knows. He has never forgotten who you are. Even when you've been buried under responsibilities, regrets, or heartbreaks, your name has never stopped being spoken in heaven. You are still known. Still chosen. Still deeply, endlessly loved.